was quite difficult jumping into the F1 after driving GP3 this morning. So there's just such a huge difference in the cars, the power, the grip, and the power steering. It plays a huge effect for your mind really, just because you're fighting with a GP3 car or an F2 car with no power steering like a pure old racing car. Whereas now with the F1 cars, obviously you have the power steering and everything's nice and smooth. So that's a bit difficult. And then when I jumped back in GP3 for qualifying, the first 2 laps were a bit tricky. I think I was P17 at one point, but I quickly understood where I needed to go. And
well, you did that at Spa when you got back into the GP3 car, and you felt that there's something wrong with the engine.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess you were kind of prepared for it this time.
Yeah, sure. And I think the experience I had from earlier in the year certainly helped. I prepared extremely well for this event, so I knew one, the schedule, because there's a big schedule here for me, and obviously the paddocks are quite far away, and on top of that, just the differences really, getting into my mind, right, when I drive the F1 car, this is where I need to be braking, this is where I need to be this gear, that gear, whatever, and when I go back to GP3, this is what I need to do, because, for example, turn 20 here, the penultimate corner, I was downshifting 2 gears in Formula 1 to take that corner, as obviously we accelerate much quicker and go through the gears quicker, whereas in GP3 you maintain the same gear. So after doing an hour and a half downshifting 2 gears compared to not downshifting at all, it's a bit difficult.
And what about those logistics? Because it is quite far from this paddock. It couldn't be a worse circuit.
No, definitely. This is certainly the worst. So I think it has been okay, to be honest.
You've been walking it all the time?
No, I've been driving. We've got a car pass for inside the paddock.
Yeah.
But even there, you've got all the traffic lights, you've got the security where they check the cars, check under the cars, so it takes a good 10 minutes, minimum 10 minutes to get there. And when, like, I've only got...
You haven't found a way of shortcutting your security
yet? No, not yet. So when I've only got 40 minutes between sessions, or between the end of GP3 practice and deep briefings before the start of the FP1 session, it's made it a bit tricky, but we got through it in the end.
And do you find that the way you approach things in Formula 1 now, because it's your second time with Force India, you obviously tested the Mercedes, the approach has changed in any way, the way you can think through the approach now, even at GP3 level, when you come back to the boys here?
Certainly things I learned from Formula 1, a bit about the tyres. I think the tyres are so important, especially with these Pirellis. And I gathered quite a lot of information from Formula 1, warm-up procedures. Obviously it's very different, but I thought, right, I'll give this a go and see how it feels, and it doesn't seem to be worse. So it's just little things, and now I'm getting more used to Formula 1, meeting all of the guys and just knowing them on a first name basis really all makes a difference, and that's what takes a lot of time just to get used to and to build up. But no, I feel much more comfortable, and I feel ready and happy that I can do the job if someone picked up the phone and said, right, we need you to race tomorrow, or first race of the year, whatever.
You look very composed in the car. Have you had any moments yet? Either in Brazil or here?
I had a bit of a moment here in turn 17, like double right before you reach the hotel, where I completely lost the rear.
Is that because you heated the rears up quite a lot in the preceding corners?
And I think also there's a bit of a tailwind there.
So what did you do?
I ran wide, and then cooled down for the next lap and readjusted.
How was the pulse rate?
Yeah, it went up a bit, but I think I had it under control there. But no, I've not had any major moments yet. I'm not one of these drivers who has to go out there and throw the car in the wall to find the limit. Obviously, I have had my moments where I have put it in the wall once or twice or in the gravel bed, but generally I kind of not know where the limit is. But look at Lewis now, for example. He's not throwing the car in the wall every other race to find the limit. He plays with it, and if he goes over it, recovers it, and walks the lap.
Usually does that on a Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So
Brazil aside, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's once in every couple of years, isn't it? So no, you do have some drivers which think finding the limit is throwing the car in the wall and going way beyond it. But no, it's just a different way of approaching it, really. And
the GP3 qualifying itself, Dan Tipton was pretty quick early on, and you had to dig deep, regardless of what you've been doing the rest of the day, to get that pole. No,
seriously, I felt after about my third lap in qualifying, I felt very comfortable, confident. When we came into pits, changed tyres, and I missed my braking point into turn 8, the first big chicane, by about 15 metres, because just so used to the Formula 1, and I just completely missed a corner. So I lost about 3 to 4 attempts just in that one little section. So I knew, right, next lap, if I don't make any major errors, I've got this. And went out and did probably one of the best laps of the season for me.
Yeah, brilliant lap.
Yeah.
Just in closing, did you watch Macau at all?
Yes, I did. Yeah, and obviously, fair play to Tixon. Obviously, you won there, and
Ferdinand wasn't bad.
No, not at all. He did an absolutely great race, and I thought it was a lot of respect for him for what he did. Went for that move, and obviously around the outside of Mandarin at the start of that lap was also very, very brave of him.
And he got Maxi Gunter on the outside of Mandarin.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Yeah. So he had a great race, and I was pleased for him, even though he didn't end up as everyone would have probably wished for. He still showed what he was capable of, and he had a great race.